corporation.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside to a Tuesday edition of Running Point on YSNLive.com. Brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. And oops, I got to make our Running Point background. So hold on. It's not Running Point yet until we hit this.
We're just brick by brick right now. There we go.
There's the Greenwood logos over our heads. Our wonderful presenting sponsor, Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Once again, Anthony Hartwig, Ty Bartell. It is Tuesday, January 11th, already almost halfway through January. Oh, man.
Yeah, basketball season. We're already at that halfway point. Crazy to think about it, too, for a lot of these teams. A lot of these teams already have 11-plus games under their belt. We're at that halfway point. Conference plays in the thick of it now. It's getting pretty wild now in the basketball season.
Hi, we have so much to talk about today. It's going to be hard to cram everything into 2 hours, but we do have to start with a brand new Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley poll, which opened about an hour ago. And like every Tuesday, well, every week, sometimes not on Tuesday, but we try to do every Tuesday. We're going to do our Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley Price is Right challenge. Hopefully today I don't lose my 39 points. Oh, that hurt so bad. So let's go with first reminding you that the winners of the Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley in I believe that was week 5. This is week 6. So the week 5 winners were Alyssa Dill from Canfield. So congratulations to her. And Ronnie Leonard from Struthers. Hold on. We have a phone call. So let's see what we got here. This is why is
calling about your Google My Business listing.
There you go. It's the My Business listing again, That's about all the action we get on that hotline. It feels like is the Google My Business listing.
I'm just hoping one time it's someone that wants like information about like buying a game or something, and
Yeah.
then they realize they're live on the show and they hang up real quick.
That's all. That's what you're hoping for. You're gunning for it.
Better than solicitors. Because sometimes you can get those people that, oh, well, while I'm on the phone, I would love to talk about that. Okay, cool. So let's go over the week 6 nominees after we realize week 5 winners from Canfield and Struthers. So we'll start with the girls. They're on the top of the poll, and the boys are on the bottom. Boys won last week, got their first win of the season.
Yeah, I mean, congrats for the boys. They finally they get one down 4-1, but hey, there's still a chance to make a comeback. Basketball is a game of runs, so let's see what the voting can bring this week.
All right, so here we go, and it starts with Parker Henthorne from Lisbon, a big game, 2 games ago on Thursday against East Palestine, but even a bigger game last night. Lisbon ends a big losing streak to Columbiana. They finally get a win over the Clippers, 37-35. We'll talk about that a little bit later during our recap. So Parker Henthorne, congratulations. You were on the list. I already have a player profile up from her. DJ was able to talk to her last week. So make sure you head over to ysnlive.com, check that out, check her out, and check some Lisbon Blue Devils out because their girls are putting together something pretty cool this year.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I saw that swirling on social media too. I saw the banner that's hanging up in the school as well with Lisbon's score over Columbia, and it's a big win too. And Parker was a huge product of that win as well. So congratulations to her getting the nod, and congratulations to Lisbon.
We go from that and we stay in the EOAC. Patience Champney from East Palestine getting the nod to this week.
That's one of a player I haven't actually gotten a chance to see play, but I mean by the name itself, it definitely goes into one of the best names category I've seen come across this show. That's definitely a cool one.
Yeah, she's just heart and soul of East Palestine right now. I know their program struggling, but you'll never see Patience Champney have a lack of effort on the floor and a lack of being able to score. Can pretty much score from anywhere. Has a really nice 15-foot jumper from the high post that I've been able to see. I did her game in Letonia this year. We move on to Louisville. Kelsey Adelman, big in their win over New Philadelphia over the weekend. One of the reasons why they came up a couple of spots in the power rankings. That's a big road win against a 9-1 New Philadelphia team that already beat West Branch this year. So Louisville looks really impressive over the weekend. Kelsey Adelman, a big reason why, scoring 18 in that win.
Yeah, Adelman's part of that Fab Five that Louisville runs down there. I mean, they're 5 girls deep in that starting rotation and girls that could hurt you. I mean, every single one of them capable when that squad's fully healthy. Every single one of them can get you 15, 20 on any given night. Adelman's another one of those, and it was just her week this past week, and that was a big win over New Philadelphia. So I've gotten a chance to see her play. Her bread and butter is that driving game. Her bread and butter is taking it to the hole, taking the contact, and still putting it up and in with the contact, and a lot of times getting and one opportunities, if not fouled, every single time. So Adelman, well deserving.
Both of us saw Louisville back before Kendall Moy was back in the lineup. So probably an even better looking team now than they were when we saw them. And they were pretty impressive.
It's a team I would love to get a chance to go get around and see sometime as well. I'm sure they're a fun, exciting team to watch.
Champion senior Ava Howell, who is their second leading scorer right now, is on the list as well. The Flashes off to a 7-2 start now after falling to Liberty last night.
Yeah, Ava Howell, one part of that 1-2 punch tandem that are averaging over 10 a game over there in Champion, and with good reason why Champion started off as hot as they did too. She's a big scoring contributor and continues to be big in performances as they got her big dog nods.
And look, did Champion get punched in the mouth last night? Yes. Do they still have everything in front of them? Absolutely. They still have a second matchup with Liberty. They've been controlling the MVAC other than Liberty, so everything's still in front of Champion. So if you're a Golden Flashes fan, no panic. You got punched in the mouth by a really good team. You have a second shot at them, and everything that you want to do is still right in front of you.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, it was a good game last night, and Liberty just came out with a mean streak now. But now that you faced them, you kind of understand what the bar needs to be and what you need to come to the game with to match them. And sometimes with those first matches, especially with teams like this, you're kind of feeling each other out right now. And Liberty got round 1. We'll see what round 2 holds.
We'll talk a little bit more about Liberty later. I got some stuff to get off my chest a little bit, you know.
I'm sure you do.
Stuff. Madison Kibler from United gets on the list for the Golden Eagles. They're off to an undefeated start in the EOAC. Started the second round of EOAC last night against Letonia. United only 3 losses on the year, none of them inside the conference, and they continue to impress.
Yeah, continue to flex their muscles inside that conference, and I mean Kibler is a big reason why. So United's that team that schedules unlike really anyone else, it feels like, in that EOAC. And you get the product of players that develop really quick and players that get really good in a short amount of time. And Kibler's another one of those players that's really starting to step up and becoming a huge role over there in United.
Perfect example of their schedule. They will be playing at home against Poland on Saturday. Another big name on that schedule that they've went out and gotten.
Unafraid this season. I mean, that's what you love to see.
I was talking to Coach Blanche yesterday about that matchup, and he goes, "I've never played against United before. I've never been in that gym." He goes, but Josh Sigler. Sorry, it's a Tuesday.
So many Siglers.
Josh Sigler. He goes. That coach called me every year for the last 4 years trying to get me on the schedule, and last year he finally called me like in November before our schedule was even planned and said, "I want to play Poland." He was very tenacity, very driven to make sure Poland got on their schedule, and Coach Sigler finally gets his wish with Poland on the schedule on Saturday.
Doing some good things over there in Hanoverton as well as Coach Sigler. And that's what you want to see from these type of teams. And that's what you're going to need to do to get yourself ready for conference play, get yourself ready for divisions. Hey, we've seen so many schools in the area, in the Youngstown area alone, do that. And for football for many years, we saw Mooney do it and Ursuline does it. And when you schedule up, there's nothing you aren't prepared for then come postseason, and especially in a tournament where everyone gets in and you don't even have to necessarily fight to get a playoff berth. You just have to fight for positioning. It's all bread and butter there. Get yourself scheduled up, get some hard teams in front of you, get yourself prepared for the tournament.
Last but not least, it is Sarah Seaman, the new 3-point queen, and Garfield getting on the list, the second G-man to be nominated this year.
Yeah, and I mean, when you are breaking records, you just have to make it on the list. And Seaman is one of the ones that are really lighting it up over there for Garfield and really starting to impress are the Lady G-men, another one of those teams with a tough schedule and played some tough teams, but hey, they've hung with some of the best of the best.
We talked with her last week, so her player profile on ysnlive.com. You can go check that out anytime you want. We move on to the boys nominees. And first of all, it is Hunter Daley from Lisbon. So we have two Lisbon players on this list and a chance for Lisbon to sweep boys and girls.
Yeah, and Lisbon's looked really good too, especially with that win over Wellsville. And I mean,
over Wellsville. Now, can they build off of it tonight? That'll be a big thing to talk about.
Yeah, and Hunter Daly's a big reason why they've had a lot of success this season, and just getting a chance. I've only seen him a couple of times on the network too when I've gotten the chance to. But, I mean, he looks like one of those players, man. He looks like one of the true leaders for that team, one of those players that the team looks to when they need a shot and they need a big shot down the stretch. And he always has the confidence, it seems like, to deliver when he needs to. So props to Daley for making it on here.
Hunter Daley nominated now. His brother, Austin Daley, was nominated for football.
It's the Daley double.
You beat me to it. You took that pun and you just ripped it right out.
I just had to rip it from your hands. I had to spare the audience of the cheesiness from Anthony Hartwick.
I'll get you for that. John Burdovich gets on the list from Heartland Christian. Johnny Buckets, the very loving name that we have given him here at YSN, Johnny Buckets, and he continues to impress.
What else? Yeah, there's really not much else I could say about Jonathan Burdovich that hasn't already been said. I've seen him. He's one of those guys, like I said, he could go takeover mode any single game you give him, and he's just a phenomenal athlete. And if you haven't gotten a chance to see him yet, you've really done a disservice to yourself. Catch a Heartland Christian game in person or catch it on the network. You need to see this kid play while you can.
All you can say is he gets buckets, man. That's what we call him, buckets, because he just gets buckets. That's like his job. It is his job. Next on the list, Aiden Stevens. He gets the nod for LeBray. He scored 20 points in their win over Middle Ridge on Saturday. And LeBray, despite that 10-point loss to Liberty, a team that is hovering in that top half of the MVAC, looking to make a move.
He's one of those players I haven't gotten a chance to see, and I think it's because he hasn't been playing, like you said, a whole lot this season. So I haven't seen.
He missed a chunk at the beginning of the season, but he's back with a vengeance.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like it. I've definitely seen his box scores, and I've definitely heard his name swirling around social media and within the YSN family as well. So, I mean, he's obviously making some big noise over there in LeBray, and I know what he could do on the football field. So I'm sure it's pretty impressive on the basketball court.
You thought he was fast with pads on. Wait till you see him on the court when he's got nothing holding him back.
I'm sure it's lightning.
He's a runner. There were times when I would look down to change the score real quick, look back up, and Aiden Stevens already scores. Oh God, scored again. Just gonna stay here.
Adding points.
Saturday was fun at Middle Ridge. It was just he was such a good defender too. Caused a lot of steals. I feel like because he was a quarterback, he's good at reading passes and where someone's going to throw the ball, because he got into a ton of passing lanes and just boop and then tipped it forward and then just ran with it.
Yeah, you know, it's when you have those kind of defenders too, and you have speed. That's why a lot of coaches teach that, and why defense is so important, because you can create so much offense. If you're that much faster than anyone, you poke a ball loose, that's a transition opportunity, and it's almost 2 points automatic every time.
He does great, which I see more and more kids in high school, whether it be boys or girls, struggle with. he uses his offhand to tip the ball when you're going for a steal. He doesn't go for his, this over here. If the ball's coming this way, you got more time for the ball to get to you if you're going over with this hand. He uses his offhand to poke it, and then his dominant hand's free to go get the ball.
Some of the best basketball players have to learn to be ambidextrous at some point.
Use your offhand, and that's what he does really well, jumping those passing lanes. We move on to Luke Simons from Waterloo, getting on the list. He had a big game in their first win of the season against Jackson Milton.
I'll have a chance to see him tonight as well. I've seen him a few times this season, and I mean, him and Navar Al Hassan are that 1-2 punch tandem over there. And Luke Simons is one of those players that he can really put it up in the box score too. And I think Waterloo's starting to really get their traction going here on the boys team. They needed a couple wins, but they've been competitive week in and week out. And Luke Simons is starting to give them big performances. That's why you're starting to see Waterloo start to put up some wins on the boys' side.
Go out and vote, Simon says.
There you go. He got one in.
Couldn't steal that one from me. Kayvon Moore, the Campbell Memorial, one of the big ones. Not Kevin Moore, Kayvon Moore. And he had a big week in there, both their wins over the week. He had double figures in both, and now he gets a nod, the second Campbell Memorial player to get a nominee in this year. I
saw Kayvon play a little bit at Rocket Mortgage too when he got some playing time, and he played really well too. And I mean, I'm not surprised in that Moore family that they're doing so well on all fronts. But no, I mean, you look at all the talent that they have there in Campbell. You got Kevin Moore, you got those starting five, you got Jameer Weaver, you got Xavion Leonard, Skivos Koros. I mean, they just keep getting deeper though. And Coach Canarino is doing a great job developing guys as he has these starters and utilizing them. And Kayvon Moore is another one of those guys we're seeing get significant playing time now down the stretch, and he's starting to become a real contributor too. And if you got a couple guys like that coming off the bench, dropping 10 for a team that already averages upwards of 70 to 80 points a game, my oh my, this Red Devil team was rocking before. They might just go all night then at this point.
They have so much more than you.
Yeah.
Got that one. And then Joey Batista from Valley Christian, another big week for another big team. Valley getting a couple of wins last week, and he's a big reason why.
He's one of those old school type of basketball players. If you like watching old school centers work and just control the paint, control that low post area, that's what Joey Batista, and in tandem with John Charles Mixon, can do. But don't let him fool you, because he can knock down the threes, and he can bring centers out as well when he needs to. And that's the great thing with Batista, is that he has the capability of doing both. But when he does play true center too, he plays a really good true center. And like I said, he's a paint beast. He just locks down the paint on defense most of the time, and then on offense, he's got enough crafty moves to score on you, typically down low.
Okay, so let's recap these nominees and then go into our Price is Right challenge. For the girls, we have Parker Henthorne from Lisbon, Patience Champney from East Palestine. We have Kelsey Adelman from Louisville, Ava Howell from Champion, Madison Kibler from United, and Sarah Seaman from Garfield. For the boys, you have Hunter Daley from Lisbon, John Burdovich from Heartland Christian, Aiden Stevens from LeBray, Luke Simons from Waterloo. You have Kayvon Moore from Campbell Memorial, and you have Joey Batista from Valley Christian. And now, without further ado, let's see what these votes are at. It's early. The polls have only been open for a little bit, and actually, it's only at 62 right now. So no shame. The polls have only been up for about 40 minutes. I don't think there's been a social media post with the fancy graphics yet. So you're watching now. You're putting up votes. So we're gonna have a lower number, but it's still 2 hours. So right now they're at 62. I think this makes it harder because we don't know how much it's gonna explode, and we also don't know if that graphic's gonna pop up in the middle of our show.
Yeah, true. And that just means I get to get closer right now, because we're not even in the thousands, so I could get within the 100.
You know what though? Like if I go aggressive and it goes over, we both go over. We just have to. We can't do it again tomorrow because you're gone. So what do we do? Do we call it a draw?
A draw for the week?
I'm gonna go 600.
Oh. See, it's interesting though, because I could technically just go 700 and just call it a day.
No, don't do that. You have to give me at least 200.
At least 200.
I think that's what we say when we're doing it for like an hour. So now,
If it's to 2:00, yeah, I'll raise the bar. I'll go 800.
all right,
I'll go 800. I'll bite on it. I'll go 800.
600, 800. We'll see at the end of the show.
We'll see how they explode.
Watch it be like 1,500.
Yeah, it'll be 1,000 in the first 20 minutes after you said that. I call them out. They're just pissed at Anthony for setting the bar too low. I just set it a little bit higher and just leave room for improvement.
I should have just went for it all. It was at 2,000 or something.
Oh man, if you went, you might have gotten me then, because I don't know if that one would have been a lot more difficult to game plan for.
All right, now let's go and shift our focus a little bit. We have a lot of recaps of last night's games to talk about. Let's start with the ones that we were at. And you, my friend, were at a big one in the MVAC. Jackson Milton needing to keep pace with Waterloo. They're playing Western Reserve, who already had 2 losses in the conference, couldn't afford another one. And they played like a team that couldn't afford another loss. They held Jackson Milton's offense down to, I believe, 37 points.
Yeah. And I mean,
and won 43-37.
At the end of the day, I mean, give Western Reserve the respect where it's due. They showed out with a strong defensive performance tonight, and it's something that Coach Miller hinted at too in the post-game interview I had with him. But the biggest thing we saw with Western Reserve is they were clamping it down on defense. But another thing that was hurting Jackson Milton, they weren't shooting the sharpest clip from the free throw line. And I think if there's anything they probably tell you they want back is some of those free throw shots, because I would say it was probably downwards closer to the 50% margin. And if you get that up to 75, 80 on the night, Jackson Milton either has a tie game or maybe even a lead down the stretch too. Definitely would have made up about 6 to 8 points, I think, so on the scoreboard. So got to make your free throws. It was just one of those off shooting nights too, and it was at the worst timing for Jackson Milton because it was coming against a Western Reserve team that was also being clamped down on defense, so they weren't going to give you anything as well. So where it was against a team where everything you had to get offensively had to be earned, and you weren't having the greatest shooting night. Just all the cards seemed to be stacked against Jackson Milton last night, and Western Reserve took advantage. And give credit to the Lady Blue Devils where it's due. They're out there saying we haven't gone anywhere yet. We might have lost some names, but we're still here.
So that creates a log jam inside the MVAC with second place.
Springfield now has 2 losses.
Western Reserve with 2 losses, Jackson Milton with 2 losses, Springfield with 2 losses. So there are 3 teams that are sitting there in second, and your sweetheart school Waterloo is sitting all alone up there with a 2-game lead.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more about that game later, but first, let's go into your post-game interviews. You had the chance to catch up with Steve Miller and Brooke Shantz after the win over Jackson Milton. Let's hear what they had to say.
Welcome back, everybody. Ty Bartell with winning Coach Steve Miller, 43-37 over Jackson Milton. And Coach, we talked before the season, and we said one of the goals for this after the departure of all your seniors was just getting better, getting this team better every single game. You thought that this is going to be a competitive conference, and it looks like it's turning out to be so as well. Just talk to me a little bit about what this win means for a team that is continuing to grow and starting to build on that foundation that those seniors of years before have built or laid down, rather.
Yeah, like you said, big shoes to fill for all these girls coming in this year. Lost a great class, and like we said, you could be a program that rebuilds or reloads, and we didn't want to have to rebuild. Certainly, we don't have no seniors on the roster, so we took the analogy that this was going to be a 2-year process. I had to be patient, and maybe it's been some sleepless nights for me. Because we've been accustomed to winning, and we've won 20 games 3 years in a row. But I've tried to be as patient as I can on game nights. I've tried to be as patient as I can on practice nights. But our slow start is a couple reasons. We played a tough schedule. Some of our non-conference games were tough. I thought that would prepare us for some of the teams that we might have been 50-50 with, and we didn't. We didn't come out with those wins early on, and that bothered me. But to be honest, you always got to scout yourself. You got to self-reflect and look in the mirror. And to be honest, I think a lot of our slow start was because of me. And even as a coach, I was fortunate enough to just be able to put the ball in some better players' hands in the past couple of years. And this year I had to get back to coaching. When I first started here, we were a defensive-minded team. So I took the analogy that, look, I got good athletes. I got girls that play hard. I can coach defense. So we were all going to get on the same page. And right now, until the offense comes, we're going to get it done collectively defensively. So going into that Springfield game, we said, listen, if we hold everybody under 40, we're going to be in the ball game, because all you need is that one big quarter, and we can shoot it, and then you're going to put yourself right around 40. And that's going to be our mindset right now. You go into Springfield, we took them all the way into overtime and kept them under 40. We come in tonight, they had 20 at halftime, and I said, guys, we're right on our point. So I think, learning the identity of your team. The past few years, it was just like, we're going to outscore you. I mean, we were scoring from so many different places. Well, now we're going to defend you. We're going to take away what you do best, and we're going to try to hang around in the game and then do what we do best. We got a pretty good free throw shooting team. We got a pretty good rebounding team. So I think it's just everybody learning their roles and understanding how are you going to play to your strengths as opposed to play to your weaknesses. The conference, like you said, very competitive. You got Springfield, Jackson, Milton, Waterloo, and us. And I think we're right there in that mix. And we got dinged a little bit early and we got 2 losses. Our goal has never been, even the past few years, has never been to win the league. If you do what you're supposed to, sometimes that happens. We want to win the district. We want to put ourselves in the district title every year. And, in 8 years, we've been there 5 times and won it 4. So I told the girls, we're going to be patient. It might take some time this year, but come February, we're going to be where we need to be. And right now, we're starting to hit our stride.
One player I want to note too, and she was our player of the game for 2 or multiple reasons, rather. Brooke Shantz, just because that highlight on offense when you're able to put 17 points in a low-scoring affair, that's huge. But also that defense too, in foul trouble at points too, but playing that lockdown defense when she needed. How influential and how key is she to this team and getting this offense and defense to really go, being that one player that's kind of carried over from those other teams?
Yeah, so, obviously Brooke was in our rotation, 2 years ago as a freshman, and then was a huge contributor last year. We had Lisa and Olivia in that mix too, but certainly Brooke is a girl that was confident scoring the ball. So collectively we're doing it defensively, but we know offense, it still drives around Brooke a little bit, and she's seen a lot of stuff. She's seen face guards, she sees double teams, she sees trap, but she's been patient. She's been good with her teammates, both in good times and in bad, and facing adversity. Developed into a great leader. And when you have no seniors, someone's got to fit that role. And, with the 2-year process, I got 3 juniors on the team, with Abrams, Leon, and Shantz. But certainly Brooke's the girl that we look to in crunch time. And like you said, she's been huge, especially down the stretch at the foul line.
One thing I want to note too, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, this rivalry between Jacksonville and Western Reserve, it doesn't just go for the football team. It goes all teams. Just talk to me a little bit and just give all those at-home viewers a little example of what this rivalry is like, because good crowd came out tonight as well for these 2 girls teams.
Well, I mean, I think, every team has their so-called big rival. And certainly the past couple years, it was Western Reserve, Mcdonald, and a lot of different things. But I feel like, and I've been in this community since the early 80s. And like you said, it didn't matter what it was. Jackson Milton and Western Reserve was always going to be a special one. And the girls' programs have both been strong consistently in multiple sports, volleyball, softball, and basketball. So that lends to the rivalry in the girls' sports. It seems like the boys spike up and down a little bit with the different sports, but it's been fun on the girls' side. You had probably 6-8 years ago, we went to the regionals. Then you went 5-6 years ago, Jackson Milton went to the regionals. It's nice to see us both back again, both competing at the top of the conference, and it makes it special for the rivalry.
Final question for you. You talked about being a defensive-minded team. Well, Jackson Milton was no pushover as far as what they can do on offense. I know 7 girls on there, but those are 7 talented girls. Just talk to me a little bit of just how proud you are as a coach at the defensive effort you saw tonight and holding one of the area's best to 37.
Well, I'm extremely proud. I mean, I'm going to go home and definitely enjoy this one. I felt confident in our last 2 practices. And like I said, I thought I seen us starting to turn the corner with the way we prepared for Springfield. And I thought as a coach, I needed to simplify some things. So I think it's all about us getting on the same page maybe me addressing things a little bit differently. But it's the girls executing and knowing the strengths and weaknesses of their opponent. You know, who's the shooter, who's the driver, who's the post girl, who they're going to go to in crunch time, and through the feel of the game, your girls got to be able to do that. You could have whatever plan you want, but they got to be able to execute that. So that's 2 games in a row that I'm extremely proud of the way that we executed, put ourselves in position to win. And I think this says a lot for us going home in the second half of the year.
Oh, I know we're going to be excited, as that MVAC Scarlet side is going to be nothing but a gauntlet to go through. Coach Miller, the winner of tonight's battle inside that Scarlet side of Western Reserve, 43-37 over Jacksonville. Thank you so much for
All right,
time.
thanks.
Welcome back, everyone, as I am here now with tonight's player of the game, Brooke Shantz, at 17 points tonight as part of a 43-37 victory over Jackson Milton. And Brooke, just talk to me a little bit about the talks that you had with Coach and the talks with the team going into this one. How serious were you taking this one, as I know that rivalry stems pretty deep for Western Reserve and Jackson Milton?
Yeah, you know, every year there's always a rivalry between us. And just coming off that loss with Springfield, you know, we wanted to get someone else back in the league, and we want to like stand our ground. And it's been a diverse year for sure. You know, it's kind of a rebuild, so we really prepared a lot, and I think that helps. And you know, Coach Miller, he's always preparing us for the big games. So I just think us coming together and finding ourselves, it's really important, and we're coming together a lot.
Talk to me a little bit about those 17 points you scored tonight in a night where offense was at a premium too for both teams, where wherever buckets you can get, you were able to get them too. Just talk to me. Do you think that experience with all those seniors that you had prior to the last 2 years, does that help you with your confidence down the stretch and taking those big shots and making 4 clutch free throws to help seal the game?
You know, coming in my freshman year with all the seniors, Danny, Kennedy, Olivia, and then like Alyssa Sorensky, they made me who I am today, and I couldn't thank them enough. And, you know, I'm glad to have like teammates like Olivia and, you know, Madison, Lenny Jones, Lisa, they really step up. Angelina, Kaylee Williams, she gave us, like, she had a few minutes, but she made them count. And I'm just really glad our team is coming together, you know.
Being one of the upperclassmen for this team too, just talk to me, when you have crowds like this, the band shows up and is playing, what does that mean to you as being one of the upperclassmen? And what does it mean to you and the team overall when you have this kind of support come out for big games like this?
I mean, personally, I love it. I'm going to be honest. Like, I love when the whole school's out here. I love when the community's here. It just, you know that they're behind you. So it makes you feel better overall.
And just looking at this game too, just talk to me a little bit about what this kind of conference win is going to do for the confidence of this team, and how are you going to use this going forward?
So we play all the teams again. So we have Waterloo again. They beat us the first time, and you know, we're coming back hard. And we have Springfield again. It was a close game in overtime, and we want to get them back too. And we just want to keep on going. We want to keep on pushing.
As Brooke Shantz is going to keep on pushing with the Lady Blue Devils, the winners tonight, 43-37 over Jacksonville. And Brooke, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So that was head coach Steve Miller and player of the game from last night's Western Reserve win over Jackson Milton. Steve Miller, Brooke Shantz, both joining Ty Bartell for post-game interviews. You could call them press conferences if you want. I like to. And Ty,
I kind of like I like using the stands as backdrop, especially when they have the letters on it. That's why I try to kind of like frame Fitch when they have those. But Western Reserve has the nice WR where you could frame it. It looks nice too for a little backdrop for the interview. That's what I like trying to do.
so let's talk about this MVAC picture right now. I mean, we're gonna talk to Coach Logan Ecker a little bit later in the show. He's going to come on at 1 o'clock to talk us about Waterloo and their first place placement right now. But you talk about these 3 second place teams, Springfield with back-to-back losses against Jackson Milton and Waterloo. Jackson Milton, they have a tough loss against Western Reserve. They beat Springfield. I'm sure they want that game against Mcdonald back when they didn't have everyone on the floor. But they can't get it back. They have 2 losses as well. Western Reserve 2 losses. So you look at these 3 teams all in second place. I got to say, I still think Jackson Milton's in the best spot because they're the only ones out of those 3 that still have to play Waterloo twice.
It's very easy to get wrapped up in that too. And I mean, I love those 2 teams, and I think we find ourselves rooting for the Waterloos and Jackson Miltons of this year just because of the situation they're in. And it innately gives them that underdog feel, because it's like when you don't have 10 girls, you can't run a 5-on-5 scrimmage. So your practices have to get creative. The girls have to get creative to get better. And the fact that both these teams, Jackson Milton and Waterloo, are getting better, and they've beaten the new Middletown Springfields of the world. They've beaten the Western Reserves and in Waterloo's case of the world now. Like that shows a lot of confidence in these just girls. 8 for Waterloo, 7 for Jackson Milton, and they're doing some very impressive things. And like you said, still 2 matchups with Waterloo, and that's the one I've been really excited for. When you see a team of 7 versus a team of 8, talent levels are premium. They're up there for both teams, and both teams are going to give it their all. And I know that matchup's going to present itself to be a very fun one, I think. And I'm excited too to see those ones.
I think Jackson Milton's just begging for an officiating crew that finally lets the game go a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, yeah.
Foul trouble. They're sick of being in foul trouble. And it's not bad officiating because they're calling it both ways. But they're sitting there saying, like, can't we get a crew that just eats the whistle a little bit and lets us play a little physical?
You kind of feel like in that Waterloo Jackson Milton game, they're going to have to, though, because you're going to have to realize like the capacities. But that's going to lend itself to be a very fun game because the way both teams play is a more physical branded style of offense. So watching both of those teams play together, I'm excited. That's one of the matchups I'm going to circle on my calendar when it comes around.
Let's circle back to that one and go to the game that I was at, talk about Poland and Hubbard for a little bit because we have post-game interviews from that. Poland gets the 58-30 win over the Eagles in a very physical game. One thing you know about Hubbard, win or lose, they're going to be a very physical team that's going to push you around, not afraid of contact at all. You look at all their scores, even in most of their losses, they're holding teams well under their season average. So Poland did a lot of hard work last night, being physical, going through contact on the drives, getting rebounds, and they were able to break through with a 58-30 win over this pretty good Hubbard team.
Yeah, and you know what? Looking at that overall, I mean, Poland's still running the table, it seems like, in that NE8 right now, and they do so again with another conference win. And Coach Blanche and the Lady Bulldogs really just looking sharp at this point of the season, and we see where they're getting ranked right now. And you really kind of feel with the way they've been able to run the table, the only team that's really there to stop them is the team that came pretty darn close. And it's your old school there, Anthony. It's in South Range and the Lady Raiders. And it seems like the one team that can stop them in this conference might just be South Range again. And I mean, it's a chapter of the book that I know a lot of people don't want to read again because we've read it so many years in a row, but we're going to have to. I mean, when the class of these two teams and 2 good coaching staffs and just 2 good programs overall keep producing great athletes and have great support from outside families and like that, that's what's going to happen too. We're seeing the NE8 start to step up though, and these teams are starting to get better. And I think it's not going to be a 2-horse race as much anymore. You're going to just see more horses added to the race. I don't think Poland or South Range are going anywhere, but I think more horses will be added to the race here soon.
I think the last hurdle for them both, the last real obstacle, and I don't want to discredit any of the other teams. I'm not trying to do that, but we've seen them dominate other teams. But I think Struthers is sitting there playing really well right now. They only lost South Range by like 5 in the field house. They still have Poland in the field house. I think Struthers is going to start to maybe make a push to maybe throw a monkey wrench in there and maybe ruin a chance.
Struthers basketball program has consistently been good, and when you have that beautiful field house that is as historic and nostalgic for so many people as it is, you almost feel a responsibility to have good teams produced in that area, and Struthers always is. And like we said, in the NE8 right now, they're the team to beat until someone does. You got to consider them on the boys' side, kings of the NE8, and on the girls' side, just like the last few years too. Yeah, Poland and South Range might be the tops, but Struthers is always considered a wild card in that NE8. Does not matter what year it is, and for this year again, it's the same case too on the girls' side. They're one of those wild cards.
All right, Katie Mcdonald took the brunt of that physicality I was talking about in contact down low, trying to get rebounds. She won player of the game last night, so I had a chance to talk with her and Coach Blanche after the win. Let's hear what they had to say in last night's post-game interviews. As soon as I find this dang cursor that always runs away from me. Found it. Let's hear what Katie Mcdonald and Coach Blanche both had to say after their wins last night. Anthony Harvey here with tonight's game-winning coach Nick Blanche after Poland's 58-30 win over Hubbard. Coach, another one in the 88, taking care of business. How did it feel?
It always feels good. No matter when you can win, just good to play. I don't really care anymore about, all the wins and losses. I just want to play, man. And right now, every day, my phone rings, and I always have that little cringe where I'm like, oh, boy. So thankfully, nothing major today. We were able to get a game in, and on top of that, we were able to pull out a conference win, which is always a big thing to do. But like I said, just getting on the court right now is the biggest thing.
One of the things that everyone knows about Hubbard, it's always going to be a physical game. You look at their scores, even their losses, they're holding people down to lower scores. What was good on your offensive end to be able to put this game away kind of early, get some offensive rhythm early, and be able to kind of just back off on your defense for a little bit?
Well, hitting shots helps when they're in their zone, but also I think our transition hurt them a little bit. We never let them get too comfortable. We were always pushing pressure defensively, obviously, cause some turnovers, again, leading into transition. So those kind of things bode well for us, and obviously our depth. We have a lot of kids that get rotated in. They all don't have a drop-off, when they go in. They do a nice job, and like I said, making shots, pushing in transition, and the defensive intensity. I like our chances when we can do those things well.
Second game in a row where 9 or more of your players have gotten on the stat sheet with at least 2 points. What's it mean to you that you're able to get so many players in, so many players time, and then you're able to see so many players get rewarded with this moments like that?
Well, that's really what I think makes our team strong is our depth. We don't have superstars. We have good kids who work hard, and everybody knows their role for the most part. I mean, I really don't know anybody right now at this point of the season who's struggling to figure out what they need to do when they go on the floor. And not only does that help us this year by having depth, but it helps our future. So that way, when kids graduate and other kids have to step into bigger roles, they now aren't going into it like, wow, I've never done this before. They know what it's about. They know what halftime's about. They know what the huddles are about, and they know the intensity of the game, which is a lot different than a JV or a freshman game. So, that's kind of what we try to do here, and we've been fortunate enough to be able to do that here over the years and really develop kids as the season goes on. So the following year they come back and they know what it's all about, more than they would just watching, from the distance.
I do want to talk about your JVs real quick before we get back to the varsity games and the player of the game. But, JVs have been hurt by this whole pandemic. A lot of times they get 2 quarters. Sometimes their games get canceled. What have you seen from your reserve players and being able to grind through it and being able to actually get a full game tonight and what it meant to them to just, get on the time on the floor, get to able to play a competitive game?
Despite all of the tough situations they've been in with that, they've managed to stay very positive. They are our practice squad in practice. I mean, that's what we go up against. So we need them because if we don't get quality looks in practice, we're not prepared for the games. So they are very important. But the bottom line is everybody wants to play in the game. So I understand that, and I do. I'm very sympathetic with that. But that's why we have a freshman schedule, and they're getting games there, and the varsity games we can rotate the kids in. We try to do that as much as we can, even if it's only a minute or so. Just letting them know that hey, we know you're here, and you are important to us, and we do want to get you time, but we have to do it in the best interest of the program. We can't jeopardize to try to get everybody equal minutes and jeopardize what the program wants to try and achieve. Like I said, very positive. The kids come to work every day and they get frustrated, and I don't blame them. I get frustrated for them, but the bigger picture here is obviously the varsity. It always is in every program. But those kids are very important to us in what we do, and especially in our preparation. So I am very appreciative of their positive attitudes and good work ethic.
Let's get back to the player of the game tonight. Katie Mcdonald was awarded it. A lot of good rebounds down low for her. She was able to get in the double figures with 10. This is a physical team to try to rebound against. What do you see from her tonight?
Katie continues to grow every single game. I mean, she's getting better and better. And from the first time she was player of the game earlier in the year, I told you, she continues to work. She works harder at practice. She gets out there on the floor early. She stays late when she can. She's continuing to do those things. She's learning. We're throwing a lot at her. And like I said, it may sound bad, like I'm always raising my voice trying to get her attention and get her to do things. I'm very proud of her. And I always tell her just as many good things that she does. But I want her to continue to get better, just like all the other players. So the only way to really do that is continue to preach. And then by the time they get sick of hearing it, they're going to realize, all right, I better do this or else he's going to tell me again. And I don't want to hear him right now. So you kind of get that broken record and then they get annoyed by hearing it. So then it kind of sinks in. But honestly, great kid. I mean, smart kid, very intelligent, rocks it in the classroom. And she comes here. She's going to rock it on the diamond here in the spring. Continues just to be a great teammate to all of her teammates. I mean, they love her in there. We love her in here. But she's still got a lot more growth to go. And trust me, she's doing a lot of good things for us right now. And the more she gathers the rest of this season and all of next year, you're going to see even more from her, which is scary.
I love that you brought up her softball experience because one of the players that's getting a lot more varsity experience on the basketball court this year than last. But last year in softball, she was asked to do a ton for that team. Mm-hmm. Pressure on her shoulders. How much do you think that helped her deal with some of the varsity pressure of any sport, whether it be volleyball or basketball, just knowing that it's not like going to be a super nervous experience and she's not going to be nervous out there on the floor?
Well, in softball, in my opinion, she was kind of a one-man wrecking crew out there. She didn't have a whole lot of help in the circle. So, the difference here is she has other people she can rely on as far as give her breaks and things of that sort. Out there, I mean, it was basically, here, Katie, here's the circle and do what you got to. And that takes a toll on you. I mean, like I coached softball for 16 years. I mean, that's a lot on one person to put on their brain where they know they have to do it. And if they're struggling, they feel like they're letting everybody down because there's nobody to come in for them. So, and there's going to be games where they're long and they're hot and she's got to suck it up and play through it. And right now she's experiencing some of that up and down the floor. She gets a little tired at times, just like everyone else. Hey, we need you right now. You got to suck it up and play through it. And softball's been great for her from that because she's realized that she's had to push through and make things happen even when she's not 100%. And same thing here in basketball. But the thing is with her, she smiles. Yes, coach. She'll go and she'll do it to the best of her abilities. And like I said, she grew a lot last year as a sophomore, mentally and physically. She did a lot of good things and overcame a lot of things. And this year she's going to continue to do that. And I'm excited for her the rest of this season as well as her spring in softball. She's going to be awesome.
Coach, before I let you go, let's preview the week ahead. You got Niles on Thursday, United on Saturday. Talk about what's going to lie ahead this week for you guys and what you expect from your team.
Niles plays hard. I mean, I know their record isn't pretty and people will think, whatever with Niles, but they're going to play hard. They mix it up. Michaela does a great job over there. She continues to believe in those kids and push them. So we'll get different looks there, and hopefully we can continue to keep on our roll. I mean, that's what we obviously want to be able to do. But again, shots got to fall. We're at home, which is a good thing for us. And then we go over to United on Saturday, and United's playing really good basketball right now. They throw a lot of different defenses at you. We're looking up for the challenge there too. We're going to be on the road. It's a nice long road trip in the morning. JV is going to be a half, and then the varsity's at about 11:45. So it'll be a nice little morning matinee here and go play a varsity basketball game on the road in a different environment. I've never been in the gym. I heard it's a very nice gym. So I'm looking forward to the trip and the challenge. So it'll be fun. And like I said, as long as we get the games in, that's half the battle right there. Just having enough people to play, and let's go do it. Let's get these seniors as close to 22 regular season games as we can.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the win tonight, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you for the coverage.
Anthony Hartwig here with tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Barrett Brothers. Katie Mcdonald, 10 points in Poland's win over Hubbard. Katie, what was working so well for you tonight?
I think offensively we pinned well and we were able to get it in the middle, and then getting in the middle and going for a drive and then kicking it out to a shooter. That was definitely working well.
You got a ton of rebounds against a physical Hubbard team. What's it like going in there, getting those rebounds, and what was working so well for you on that part of the game tonight?
You just got to go in strong and just know you're getting it and grab it with two hands.
A lot of teams struggle to guard you. This offense does a great job getting you the ball down low. What have you been working on so far this year trying to get those finishes down low?
A lot of just going in, because sometimes I like to not be as strong. So going in strong and just finishing, just going in strong.
This is a team with a lot of new faces to the varsity level, a lot of more experience than last year. What has it been like going through this season and getting to learn from the older players and then also bringing the younger players along with you?
I feel like a lot of family atmosphere. We're always together. We love playing with each other. So just being a family and knowing how each other works and just coming together and clicking.
And talk a little bit more about this chemistry and the family atmosphere you have. I mean, Coach Blanche preaches it all the time, and it's something that a lot of teams say they have, but you can feel it in Poland. What's different about this program?
We love being together, like outside of school. We're always doing stuff, going to dinner, having sleepovers, just being together all the time and loving one another.
Okay, it's still a long road ahead. You got the second round of NE8 play to go. How are you going to use this one as momentum heading forward?
It was a big win, so we just got to keep pushing, knowing that we can do it, working together, and we just got to keep looking ahead.
All right, Katie, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations again
Thank you.
on the player of the game. That was Nick Blanche and Katie Mcdonald after Poland's win over Hubbard last night. 58-30. They got the win in the NE8. With that, let's quickly go over the rest of our girls' scores from last night. As we look on our social media page, you can always find them there. As we go to... Hold on. What embarrassing. Lakeview got the 28-23 win over Jefferson to get back to winning in the NE8. South Range keeps pace, 41-35 on the road against Girard. Liberty gets the big win to stay in first place in the MVAC. This was a matchup between two teams undefeated in the conference. Liberty put their foot down emphatically. 65-35, they beat champion. You see Waterloo, they get the 48-42 win over Springfield. They stay in first place all by themselves in the MVAC Scarlet tier. You see that Crestview gets the big win at home, 53-42 over LeBray, maybe one of the more impressive games Crestview has put together so far this season. We already talked about Western Reserve. They get the 43-37 win over Jackson Milton. United keeps on dominating in the EOAC, 77-40. They beat Latonia. You look at Lisbon. They end the long losing streak to Columbiana, and they win 37-35 over the Clippers. You look at Howland, 68-32. They own Warren Harding. Alyssa Pompalia, 17 points in the first quarter by itself. She's very close to 1,000, looking to get that on Wednesday against Canfield.
That'll be a fun, exciting game to tune into on Wednesday, too, to see if a milestone is reached.
Edison beat East Liverpool by 51-50.
Up by 5.
Not who I picked, but,
Lead is 5. Lead is 5. Leading in this. Keep winning in the votes. Good day. Good days for me.
I was just trying to make you happy before you went on vacation.
You have a chance to get some back on me tonight.
Yeah. And the whole vacation when you forfeit all those
goals. You wish I forfeit all those games.
You better text me your picks, though.
I pick every single game, Anthony picks. Same result.
Okay. So those were the final scores from last night. We both had games, unfortunately, that we saw injuries get sustained. So we want to send our thoughts to Grace Narkham from Hubbard and, of course, Lisa Eichert from Western Reserve for great health. And hopefully the injuries weren't as serious as they looked. And we definitely wish health on all of our student athletes. So unfortunately, it happens. We were both in games where it did, and we just want to send our thoughts to those two and anyone else that is dealing with injuries in the wide world of sports.
We got you. But yeah, we thoughts are out for you guys, and we're obviously thinking about you, and we hope for speedy recoveries and hope to see you back out on the hardwood again. It's been a speedy time quickly.
So, Coach Logan Ecker coming on, Logan Ecker.
Necker. Yep.
Coming on at 1 o'clock. But before he comes on, now that we have that chance, we've talked about Liberty. They won by 30. We got to talk about this. I'm not okay with dropping Liberty to 4 time. I don't know if you had conversations about it yesterday when you announced this, but I get it. Like a Liberty does not go out and play New Philadelphia. They don't play Marlington. But at some point, like you got to look at a team and saying every challenge that is in front of them, they're facing head on and they're emphatically putting their foot down. They beat Brookfield. They beat Garfield. They beat Champion now by 30. Champion came in undefeated in the league. It was a de facto first place matchup.
Yeah, I mean,
I know that
you're
game
right,
didn't
Anthony. I mean, I'm looking at 3 ranked teams right now that Liberty has beat on the power rankings.
I know that
They
game
haven't lost a single game. The only undefeated team, and they're a team that dropped down from 2 to 4.
I know that game didn't happen yet. You know, no one knew they were going to beat Champion by 30 emphatically. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, they put a lot of emphasis on West Branch beating Marlington. I get it. Marlington's a very good team. That's a solid win, taking nothing away from West Branch at all. You'll watch that game and you'll watch how it developed, and you realize that it was just a sloppy ending. It was a sloppy fourth quarter, and a lot of things just fell West Branch's way. It happens in basketball. West Branch played good enough defense to let that happen. Never let Marlington run away with it. So I'm giving them credit for winning the game. But it wasn't like they went and beat Marlington by 20 or emphatically imposed their will over Marlington. They beat them by 1 in a game that was pretty sloppy. Liberty, you got to start putting respect on Liberty's name. At some point, the strength of schedule argument has to go away a little bit. You have to start saying Liberty's doing things that no one else.
I mean, it needs to be in the conversation, but it can't be the end-all, be-all. I've been looking at a goose egg in Liberty's loss column the entire season, and they've beaten quality teams to run the gauntlet in their gray side of the MVAC, which they're pigeonholed the 15 or 14 games inside of too. So it's not like they can get a whole bunch of out-of-conference games scheduled. They have to play those 14 games, and so far, in the conference games they've played, they've dominated them.
So here are my 2 gripes with the list the way it is now. And I know it's a long season, and of course, there's plenty of time for movement. I am ready to move Howland up a lot. I am done hurting them for their sloppy start, and I'm ready to start putting Liberty up. Let's put a lot of respect on Liberty, and now we might have to put some respect on Waterloo as we end that little rant by Anthony, and we welcome in Coach Logan Ecker from Waterloo real quick here. Coach, first place. How's it feeling?
Coach Logan Ecker joining us from Waterloo now.
Hey, guys. How are you this morning? I guess we're afternoon now, man. So
doing real good. How are you feeling after last night? Another close one, but you guys pulled it out. Talk to me about how that game went last night, what you saw from the girls, and how you're feeling right now after everything.
Well, I thought our kids played with a lot of poise last night, and we were able to beat a very good Springfield team. That's a good team, very good, and thought we did some things. We're able to disrupt them a little bit enough to give us. We made enough shots to make things work, and right now we've got laser focus on Lowellville, and that's Thursday for us. So, but yeah, kids played hard. It was a great game, and I'm real proud of our effort.
Coach, you look at the way you guys were going into last week. You had a long layoff. You come into last week. You focus on Thursday. You get that win on Thursday, and then you come into this game. What was it like seeing the team kind of go through that and then come off of that so well?
Well, we've been talking all year long from day one, especially after going through the things that we all went through last year in the basketball community, is control what we can control. And, we've expected that there would be pauses during the season, and we certainly found one. And, we just did all the things that we could do to be ready to go. And, we've played twice now since coming out of our pause, and have played pretty well, to be honest. So thankful for that.
I mean, we've talked about it before, Coach, but I mean, just looking at the overall roster and having 8 girls on the roster, it doesn't lend yourself to have a lot of chances to run 5-on-5s and scrimmages. So you talked to me about getting creative with the practices. Talk to me about just how that creativity, what you had to do to kind of get by with practices, how the girls are taken to it, and I mean, I think it's just impressive that when you can't run 5-on-5 scrimmages, you could still see these girls vastly improving each game of the season this year. Just talk to me a little bit about that process.
Yeah. I mean, it does. It forces you to get creative. I know Jackson Milton's in the same boat, and some other area programs are as well. And, our approach is we've been focusing a lot on fundamentals, obviously, small group work. And, we just, we want to be able to shoot the ball well. We want to be able to rebound the ball well. And, we just focus a lot on fundamental work, and we shorten practices a little bit, and it seems to be working. So we'll take it. We'll take right now. All we're focused on is today's practice. So that's the motto that we've kind of adopted, one day at a time, and here we go.
So a big win last night, of course, and you said today's practice is the focus. So, despite the win, what are some things that you saw last night that it get on the list of things you want to work on tonight in practice?
Well, I thought we did a good job defensively in spots last night. So, we'll look at things and try to become more consistent. Springfield shoots the ball extremely well from the perimeter. I thought we did enough things to disrupt them enough last night, but not to my comfort level. I'd like to see us contesting more shots. So that's something we're going to work on. They've got a great size advantage inside over most teams that they play. And, so that's another area, just continuing to work on the things that we do to need to rebound consistently at both ends of the floor. And, those are two big things we're going to be focusing on.
Talk to me about little things that you try to do to work on the team's chemistry, because I got to figure and I think this is something we've also talked about, Coach, when you have such a small group of girls too, and you don't have that deep, you can't go 10 deep in subs. You got to trust each other out there on the court, that each other's going to do the right thing, not just because of injuries, but foul trouble becomes a big factor too. So talk to me about trying to build that chemistry with them, and just what's that chemistry like between the team overall?
Well, I kind of think it's not just what we've done, but maybe this season, but what we've created over time. And we have a great group of kids. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it's true. We do have a great group of kids that are good people, and for the most part make good decisions, and they like each other, and they're growing in their trust for each other on and off the floor. And that's just something we try to guard and protect, if you will. And of course, I think like a lot of other teams and programs, we try to do things off the basketball floor to allow us to express who we are as a group, and get out in the community a little bit.
Coach, when you say get out in the community, and I know that you guys can't do all the things to build chemistry that a normal team would do before COVID-19. You can't do the sleepovers, you can't do a lot of the team bonding stuff that maybe you used to be able to do. What are some exercises that you guys have done, whether it be in the summer or during the season, to build your team chemistry and to try to build the relationships that you have inside the program?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we like so many teams, team camp was able to take place last summer, which the summer before we missed, and so that's a great opportunity. And our kids eat team meals together on game day, do some things like that. We have a project that we were working on for Christmas that kind of got derailed with our COVID pause, where we're wanting to reach out to a family in the region and try to do some things for this family, and just things like that. I'm sure a lot of other teams have done similar things, but our kids take those to heart, and proud of them in those efforts.
Looking at the team now that they're getting older, they're more experienced coming into this year from last. You can definitely see that there's some complexity that's been added to the offensive game plan too. They're able to run a little bit more, do a little bit more things. Talk to me. Is this something that you try to actively do with your girls? Is just add more things for them offensively to do, or where's that kind of balance? We're trying to keep it basic and easy to understand, but also trying to give them new things to challenge them with.
Sure. Well, I think every night presents a different challenge for us, and we've started very, very basic, very simple. And there's been games in the past that I call. I talk to the kids. Some of my most favorite games to coach is where I've never had to call an offensive set. That they've been able to read and react and do things appropriately that way. So, and I just think we're starting to see that with this group a little bit. They read, they react fairly well for the most part, and I kind of let them go some things. And there's some times that sure we have some sets that we've built in as the season has progressed that the situation calls for, but. The less that I have to be involved from the sideline on game day, the better we're playing. That's typically the way it is.
Coach, this MVAC is so competitive. You cannot afford to take a night off or lose focus at all. So being in first place, I know there's something that we in the media get excited about. We're talking about Waterloo a lot, but I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't like you guys.
I'm guessing you guys are trying to keep your blinders on and just stay focused and forget about where you are in the standings right now.
Well, we were joking on the bus last night as coach is coming home. You win a few games and everybody remembers who you are. You lose a few games and nobody remembers who you are. So we were kind of joking about that a little bit. But we've been talking literally again just because of the size of our group, and we say it's just the right size, and but we have literally just focusing on the task at hand. And that's served us well so far this year. And, that's the way we're going to continue to approach things. And, like I said, our immediate task is, we have today and tomorrow to prepare for a very scrappy and well-coached Louisville team. And as you said, there are no nights off. We talked about that early in the season, that every night in the conference is going to be a struggle. And, so that's, we're one step at a time. We're very thankful and for the position that we're in, but fame is fleeting. You guys know that.
As for sure, Coach, looking at it, though, there's a lot to be proud of with the team. Just talk to me, of course. I know the Waterloo community is always supportive, too, of their teams. How influential has that been for these girls this season? And how influential is it for them when they get those big crowds that show up to games and it's rocking for their games as well?
Well, the kids always love playing in front of a big crowd. As we've said before, Waterloo supports their teams very well. It is a very proud and rightfully so community, and the girls relish that. And so I know they're looking forward to next time we get to play at home, but we've got a couple stops to make before we get there again. It's fun. It's fun for the kids to be able to experience that.
Coach, when you look at the season ahead, the goals ahead, and everything that you want to accomplish, and of course, a great start, what are some things that you see overall that you want to keep getting better at, keep improving at? Because we know the great programs never satisfied with where they're at or how good they are. They always want to get better. So what are some things that you see from your girls that you want to continue to improve on and continue to get better at?
Well, we've dabbled with shooting the ball very well certain nights, and certain nights we've been a little inconsistent. So that's one thing, from the free throw line as well. We were just right about 70% last night. And, to be successful, we feel you need to be a little better than that. So that's an area. We're growing and taking care of the ball better. That's an area that we want to continue to grow in. and very, very pleased with where we're at with that. But we still have room for growth. And from the defensive end, I think we're starting to come together as a unit. We try to play a lot, dependent upon one another, and communication's a big deal. So on that side of the ball, working together and maybe doing a better job of, we talk about guarding your yard, individually, one-on-one with the basketball. So, those are some areas that we have plenty of room for growth. And there's several good teams in our conference that can exploit those things if given the opportunity.
Coach, my final question for you. I just want to let you give you the opportunity to kind of preview this matchup Thursday for us. I know you kind of mentioned it. We've danced around it a little bit.
Sure.
Obviously, without giving away too much of your game plan,
Yeah.
just kind of preview this matchup and what we can expect Thursday night.
Well, ever since we've come into the league, Louisville has been a team that is always very well prepared. And, they've run some pretty neat sets at times that we're going to have to be able to defend. We like to try to get out and go when the opportunity presents. So, that's something that we're going to look to do night in and night out. And, so those are two big things. And then, the other thing that ever since we've been in the league, Louisville has a tendency to shoot the basketball very well from the 3-point line. And so we're going to have to be able to challenge those shots to keep them at bay a little bit.
Coach, I want to lighten things up before we let you go here. Last question.
Okay.
Because you guys have some really awesome new looking uniforms. And I want to know,
Thank you.
do you buy into the look good, feel good, play good mentality? I mean, have you seen a little bit of a new spring in your step with these new threads on your girls?
I don't know. I mean, we were overdue. We had some pretty good looking uniforms before that we had for quite a while, but give a shout out to Baller, Tom Miller and Alliance. I know a lot of programs in the area. He is dedicated solely to women's basketball, and then now he has added some other women's sports since then. But yeah, he provided us a great custom look. I know the kids like it. And, it's a little more modern. The WNBA and the NCAA, they just kind of set the trends of uniforms and usually change 2 or 3 times before we can, at the high school level, teams can keep up with that. But yeah, kids like our new uniforms, and there is a feeling of, pride, I think. You don't want to go out and in rags, so to speak. So we're thankful, and hopefully we represent those uniforms well.
Coach,
I know I'm excited to get out there and see them too, and I'm sure it's only a matter of time before I make my way back out there and see you again, Coach.
they look good. They feel good. They're playing good, Coach. Congratulations on the great start. We look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thank you, Coach. As Coach Logan Ecker from Waterloo girls basketball, and boy, oh boy, 8 girls, but 8 girls strong, man, and there's a lot to be proud of over there. I've been kind of preaching to the choir about this team ever since they got that big win over Western Reserve early in the season too, and they've just continued every challenge that has come their way. The Mcdonalds of the world, they've stepped up and answered. The Springfields of the world, they've stepped up and answered. I mean, the one big team left in that big 5 kind of is Jackson Milton that they need to match up with, and we need to see that matchup yet.
And let's go look at their schedule and just kind of – I know coaches can't look ahead, but we know that us in the media can. So their revised schedule after that little break is out. All their games except the ones scheduled with Ellet's, I believe, are rescheduled at this point. So we look at it. I mean, they're at Springfield, at Lowville, at Mogadore. Then they play Western Reserve at home, at Firestone, at McDonald versus Sebring. They don't play Jackson Milton until January 31st at home.
That'll be an exciting one too, and that'll be one that'll I think be worth the price of admission, and you should definitely get out there and see it. And I see it on the 31st. I'm scheduled for it. So
they close out the MVAC regular season at Jackson Milton on February 9th.
That'll be a fun one. That'll definitely be a fun one.
This is how they end the last 3 games of their season are at home against Springfield, at Jackson Milton, and at Champion. That's a great way to get ready for a tournament.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I mean, it's definitely going to get them prepared.
I kind of like what Coach Miller said earlier in the show in his post-game press conference. I mean, I don't know how much of it was like legit and how much of it he was trying to play off because he's sitting in second place. But like, ultimate goal is not necessarily to win the league. It's to get yourself in the best position possible heading into tournament times. And that program, and like every program, has aspirations of winning a district championship. So if you sacrifice the league to do that with this tough schedule, then I think a lot of coaches would take a district championship over a league championship. Now, it's easy for Coach Miller to say because Coach Miller's won a couple of league championships in his last couple of years. So, maybe someone like Waterloo carries a little bit more weight for that league championship that they want so bad. So we'll see how it goes. But they have yet to play Jackson Mountain. They'll play them twice before the end of the year. And the rest of their schedule, pretty tough. They still have some non-conference opponents. I see Mogador in there. That'll be tough. Firestone and Champion. Non-conference schedules in there for Waterloo.
Yeah, I mean, they're honestly, they schedule up too as well. They've tried to make sure they played those tough teams out of conference schedule, and they've done a really good job as well. And one of my favorite parts about this team is not the tallest team in the world. They're not gonna beat you with overbearing height, but they can out-rebound some of the tallest teams in the area. And St. Thomas Aquinas was one of those teams where I saw where had a clear height advantage on every area of the court. And it just came down to hustle and getting in position. And Waterloo was able to do that the entire night. And they were able to out-rebound a team again with a height advantage. So the little things. And it's those, when you have smaller teams, you have a little bit more heart, it feels like, and a little bit more hustle.
We got stats from last night. Kara English had 20 and Rose Couts had 17. Those are big 2 numbers to put up. I mean, that's 37 of your 48 points from 2 people.
So what we said, it's a 1-2 punch with Carrie English and Rose Couts. And I mean, the fact that I believe both of them are coming back at least one more season is incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
And then you put their defense to the test. And let's see, they gave up the leading scorer for Springfield is JC Mullen. She had 9. So that's well below her average. You look at, I'm sorry, it's sideways, so I have to keep kind of flipping it. Springfield was led by Lesnack with 11, still, I believe, under her average. So the defense just held leading scorers for Springfield really in check. I mean, you look at even Jamaica Brungard, she only had 6. And then Lamorticella, who stepped up big in that Jackson Milton game to make it close, she only had 3. So not only was Waterloo doing a good job holding Springfield's top scorers, but also doing a good job keeping their secondary scorers from supplementing that those points.
What Coach Long and Ecker said too, when the girls are so wrapped up in the system and their basketball IQ levels are so high that they're basically calling the plays on the court on the fly, and he can just kind of just sit back on offense and say, okay, just let them go. Like that. That's next level too for athletes too. That's not just being good athletically. That's being good up here first too, and that's very impressive. That you could just they're just calling their own plays on the court on the fly at times. That's very impressive.
Get some popcorn out, enjoy it with your assistant coach. Oh, that's a good play right there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, you got to be so proud at that point. That's just a culmination of everything you've taught these kids just paying off, that they could just go out and execute it then themselves at some point. That's impressive.
Okay, now let's go over to the other MVAC. A big win for Garfield as they protect their home court, beating Brookfield 48-44. So that MVAC right here, Garfield's right there. That was a big win for Garfield because they needed to try to keep pace with Liberty, who they already lost to by 3, just 3 points. They lost to Liberty. Garfield sitting right there. Champions still everything ahead of them, even though they lost to Liberty last night. MVAC right here.
You're looking at 4 teams that were in the power rankings though that played each other, so you got to figure that that's going to move as well.
Yeah, I think Garfield's on the trend up. They're starting to win close games. They're starting to be able to finish games they have leads in, which is something they struggled in to start the season. A big reason why they were 4-5 after that holiday tournament. And now all of a sudden they're starting to learn how to finish games a lot better.
Brookfield
That's
was
scary for the
7 and Champion was 8 too. So I mean, we'll see how much that's going to affect them though going into next week. A loss like that. I mean, yes, there were losses against other power ranked teams, but
I mean, let's look. Champion was 9.
so 10. So you look at 10 beat 8 and 4 beat 9 just last night,
4.
and then we're going to have a matchup of 6 versus 7 coming up this week.
Oh, that'll be big. Tomorrow night in Canfield, I believe it's in Canfield.
That's huge too, because if Howland wins out, I mean, this one, I mean, that could be a game essentially for the AAC on the girls' side. Obviously, a lot of games still left to play, but those are the two I think heavy favorites you're looking at in that girls' side right now.
I'll be transparent. I only have one vote. I vote once for this poll, but if Howland beats Canfield, I'm going to put them in the top 3. This is, I mean, they've done enough for me. Like I'm done holding that start against them. I think they've done more than enough to prove that start was only because of the tough teams they were playing. And
everyone acknowledges they didn't duck anybody. Even like Coach Wilson has said too in previews of games with Howland is that it's a team that scheduled up this year. They've played the best of the best, toughest of the toughest too, and they've hung with a lot of these teams as well. So, I mean, if you want to look at strength of schedule, I don't know if there's many teams with a stronger schedule on that top 10 list than Howland right now. I really don't.
I don't think there is because no one else played Akron Hoban.
No one. I mean, that's a big one right there. I mean, no one else played Hoban.
Canfield played Massillon Perry too. They both played Perry.
Yeah.
Canfield won against Perry. Howland lost. They both played Salem and Canfield both played Salem. They both lost. So it's like that's why you can't put them ahead of Salem. As impressive as they look, Howland lost to Salem, so you can't just say Howland's
no, absolutely. But
I
still figure. I mean, head-to-head matchups. You got. I mean, if Howland beats Canfield, Howland jumps Canfield. That's simple. Records are similar. Head-to-head matchup. That's almost an easy jump, I think.
I'm really interested in what would happen. It's not happening this year. Not in the schedule. They're not in the same division, so it won't happen in the tournament. But I really want to see Salem versus Liberty because talk about two completely different styles of basketball. Like Liberty is let's run, let's gun, let's score a lot of points, and Salem's like you're not gonna score.
Good. Well, the problem is, Salem would have too many seniors they would lose because Liberty's going to return pretty much everyone of that. All of the big threes are returning next year for Liberty or is slated to return.
Sienna Smith is coming back. Leah Foster is just a sophomore.
And Demi Watson
will be a seniors, right? So
Demi Watson and Sienna Smith, I think, would be seniors, yeah. And Aaliyah Foster would be a junior. And that's going to be a scary team next year, too. This team, you think it's good this year? Oh, my goodness. Those 3 players are going to keep getting better. It's what kills me is that they're going to keep getting better. They're all averaging 15 or more a game. So not only are they're all being successful, but they're sharing the wealth. They're all getting theirs, too, and their opportunities in sharing the ball and getting good amounts of assists between them. Like, this is just a team, an offensive juggernaut. And, I mean, the thing is, teams are trying to find chinks in their armor, and will a team beat them? We'll see. We'll see if a team will get a victory on them. But the teams that are coming close, it seems like they're getting better even in those close wins, too.
They still have to beat Brookfield again and Garfield again. That was a 2-point game and a 3-point game.
If those are going to be big ones, too, to see how they adjust, to see if those adjustments can be made. I'm curious, though, is those both home, away, one home, one away? What's the situation?
They'll be at Brookfield.
So
I believe they'll have Garfield at home.
So Garfield will be at home. So they got the Garfield win. If they got the Garfield win in Garrettsville, that's a big win on the road too. Brookfield's going to be tough to win though on the road. That's going to be a tough one on their schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just.
But like we said too, I mean, with the amount of teams that are scheduled in the gray tier that are in top 10, I mean, these are top 10 wins that Liberty's getting. I think respect needs to start being shown.
I get it. It's hard to put these power rankings together because obviously there's only 10 teams. There's only 10 spots. And West Branch got the big win over Marlington. I get it. But I just feel like I felt wrong. They dropped from 2 to 4. 2 to 4, not even like 2 to 3. 2 to 4 for not losing a game. I was like, ooh. And TCU's over there, the college football playoffs from a couple of years ago, saying, we feel you.
Yeah.
Feel you. So without further ado, we have to take our first break of the day. It's been a while without a break.
A long time.
We need to pay our bills and pay tribute to our wonderful sponsors here at YSN. So we're going to take our break, and we'll be back next with more Running Point brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
Coca's Pizza, always supporting our community and our local athletes. Stop in on game day or score big and have it delivered right to your door. Check out our daily specials at cocaspizza.com. That's Coca's Pizza, we serve it hot.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need, regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
Welcome back to Ysn's Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell. Almost time for our pick'ems for Tuesday nights boys basketball games. But before we get to that, we have some catching up to do with some post-game interviews and some coaches that we were able to hear from over the weekend. We couldn't load these into the system because I wasn't in the studio yesterday. But we got them in now. We want to make sure they get up. So let's start with Ian O'Brien catching up with Dolph Carroll after Valley Christian's win on Friday.
Ian O'Brien with Ysn Live here with the winning head coach, Coach Dolph Carroll. First of all, Coach, thank you for coming on. And, it was a little bit of a, kind of bounce back win from the loss of the tournament. But what's this mean to you guys?
It's good when you can win at home. And it's good when you can win ugly sometimes. And we were able to learn from this one because they did a lot of different things. And we didn't adjust very well early. But I thought we did a really good job of adjusting the second half and making sure we were doing what we were supposed to do. And, when you're 5-0 in the conference, I'll take that any day. So
talk about it real quick because, as you said, it was changed around the second half. What turned around the second half? Because we saw a little bit of back and forth, more defensive battle. And then the second half, you guys just took off. What changed?
I think we settled down a little bit.
I see the fans are calling your name here too.
You guys need a life. Get a life. Really got to get a life.
What changed in this game for the second half?
I think we were able to go inside a little bit more with a little more fluidity. We didn't panic quite as much. We didn't settle quite as much. I thought we did a much better job of moving the ball. We're a little more aggressive.
And real quick,
we shot the ball better.
Talk about also some of your players. John Charles Mixon got a good number of blocks there. Elijah Gibson with 3 3-pointers in a row there too. Off the bench as well. Rashawn Bell, you put him in the starting lineup this week as well. Just talk about the role that all these players play on this team and just how good they've been.
They're amazing, and they don't care who gets the credit. They just want to play hard and they want to win games, and they accept the roles. They understand the system, and they're unbelievable kids. So it's great to have them, and it's nice that we can look down and just virtually put anybody in we need to.
And finally, Coach, Tuesday, big game against Wellsville, another conference rivalry in the EOAC. What's it going to take to beat them?
A lot. That's a really good basketball team. We're going to have to play probably our best defensive game that night, and then hopefully we can. And it's down there. It's never easy to play down in Wellsville, so Bug will have something ready for us.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time, and
you're welcome.
Nice win.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
It's never a dull moment when you get to talk to Dolph Carroll. I'll tell you that much. That interview made me just laugh hysterically sitting here.
I mean, every time he's a great guy to talk to. Another one of those just great area coaches. And you want to talk about a game. I mean, when you get Dolph Carroll and Bug Thompson against each other, I've gotten a chance to see Valley Christian versus a Wellsville game. And let me tell you, that was last year, and expect the same this year. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be close. You're probably going to be at the edge of your seat most of the time. I can't expect this game being anything but close when it happens. So definitely.
I want to cut that one part of that interview and use it as a meme or a GIF.
That was so good.
You gotta get a life.
Yeah, it was so good.
I could use that on Twitter every day. Reply to someone's tweet just with Dolph being like, you gotta get a life. You really gotta get a life.
Love giving our coaches some time.
Love it. Let's move on to our next coach's interview. Good work done by Ian O'Brien, and we move on to Noah Ricks, who caught up with Warren Harding's head coach, Coach Franklin, over there in Harding country. Let's hear what he had to say after the Raiders win over Howland, 2-point victory on Friday night.
Okay, so you guys haven't had a game in 3 weeks, but how does it feel coming off the hiatus with this nail-biting win against your big rival?
It's huge. It's huge. I mean, anytime you're out for that amount of time, to come out and get a win that first game back is huge, especially a conference game for one, and then against Howland, who is, kind of our rival. So it's huge for us moving forward.
You guys have forced Howland to claw their way back in the second half. What were you thinking when they took the lead late?
It's that we got to stay locked in. You know what I mean? A lot of times when, adversity hits, we kind of go the opposite direction that we should, and we kind of stray away from each other and come apart instead of together. And I think that's what we did tonight is we kind of just banded together when adversity hit and understood that we had to continue to get stops and try to take care of the ball on the other end and get as many good looks as possible. So staying together was key.
Okay, Tyreek Ivory stepped up to the plate with clutch free throws. How did you feel about his performance tonight?
Tyreek was great tonight. I mean, he's one of those athletes. When he gets going, he's tough to deal with. He's a dynamic type of athlete. So to see him have that success wasn't a surprise to me. It's something that we expect from him, but I was glad to see him have that success for sure.
Okay, you guys go back home on Tuesday to play Fitch, another fierce rival. Yes. How will you guys prepare?
We'll watch some film tomorrow. We'll get up in the morning, watch some film, get some shots up. We're familiar with each other. We played each other, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 times in the summer. So I think they know us well. We know them well. So it's going to come down to who's a tougher team and who executes better.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Good luck Tuesday.
Thank you.
That was Coach Franklin over at Warren Harding. Unfortunately for them and Austin Town Fitch, the game tonight between the Falcons and the Raiders has been canceled. No makeup date announced yet. But we will look forward to the next time that we are able to see Warren Harding do battle with one of our YSN schools. It's always fun.
Yeah, Harding's one of those teams too in the AAC. The last team that we just don't have, the last domino we need to fall for YSN coverage. But it's a team we obviously here at YSN respect the program too, because I mean they're always featured in a lot of our schools too. If it's not teams from the AAC that are playing them because they're in conference, teams from the Steel Valley often play them. We'll see the Moonies, the Ursulines, the Cheneys of the world do battle with them too. So it's a program that's always around YSN coverage, and they kind of get YSN coverage anyway because they're always in the opponents anyway. But no, it's a program that you respect, and they do a good job over there.
What they don't get is that 60-40 split.
No, they don't. They need, and if they want to get that, they're gonna need to get on YSN. Come on, jump on the banner. We got 4 of the 5. Come on, don't be the last one. Don't hold out. Let's make this partnership happen.
When they're playing, on a YSN school, it's 80-20, man.
Anthony's like, I turned that gas all the way on.
That's not it. We also had a post-game interview with Coach Francis Shelley and Michael Porter after Mcdonald's big 57-54 win over Western Reserve on Friday. I had the chance to talk with Coach and Mr. Porter after the game. Anthony Hartwig here with tonight's winning coach, Coach Francis Shelley. Man, what a strong win, back and forth game against a very tough Western Reserve team. What did it take to come out tonight with the victory?
Man, I mean, it was gutsy by our guys. It really was. We got that lead, and then they went that 1-3-1 there in the third quarter. It caused us a ton of trouble. I think we turned it over 6-7 times in a row. And, Michael Porter had 3 huge threes there for us. We needed to have got one out here. We really did. We've lost 4 games by less than 4 points. I mean, it was taking a toll on the guys. So getting a win tonight against a good Western Reserve team, I mean, Coach Sharansky's doing an unbelievable job with those guys. They play so hard till the buzzer. It was a great game to be a part of.
And even that last buzzer beater, it was close.
From my point of view, I thought it was in. I really did.
I know. When you're playing a team like that never gives up, what's the constant message to your guys every time out?
We can't give up. We got to keep going back at it. Be relentless. Be relentless in this. We're young. We're really young, and these, we could have easily folded tonight when they went up after we were up 11, 12, 13 there for a while. So we showed some resiliency tonight. That's a good stepping stone for us. We got Sebring Tuesday, and then big one next Friday at Springfield.
You talked about Michael Porter. He had a big second half. Kind of the tale of 2 halves. First half, you had Greg Constantino showing up. They slowed him down, and then Michael Porter stepped up and said, I'll take it.
I mean, those guys, we go as those 2 go. We really do. They're our scorers, and Michael, he's had a couple of games where he's struggled, but he keeps going. He practices hard. He's a great kid, a senior. He deserves this. He really does.
So, like you said, a big week next week. How do you use this win as momentum heading forward?
Well, normally we wouldn't come back and practice till Sunday, but we're going to practice tomorrow and get a little more momentum. We'll give the guys off Sunday, get back at it Monday. And, our goal is we take it one game at a time. So we're worried about Sebring right now on Tuesday, try to get us back to 5-5 and 4-1 in the league, and then worry about Springfield from there.
Coach, welcome back to the court. It's good to have you back, and congrats on the win.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Anthony Hardwick here with tonight's player of the game, Michael Porter. What a win tonight for you guys to get back on the floor. What was it like to get back on the floor with your team and play somebody that wasn't yourselves for a while?
It was a lot of fun. We played a few days ago and we didn't have a lot of success, but tonight we were able to get back right with the rhythm and we were able to pull out a win.
You had a big second half. What was the turning point in your game tonight?
They cut the lead. I think we were up 11 at half. They cut the lead down. I think they actually took the lead, and we knew we had to hit shots, and everyone stepped up and just made the shots count.
Yeah, they took the lead. You guys never surrendered in this game. What kind of conversations were going on in these huddles?
We knew we had to keep fighting no matter what, and even though they were going on a big run, we really weren't that. We really just knew we had to keep fighting, and eventually we hit some shots, and we were able to take the lead.
Came down to free throws down the stretch. You hit 2 big ones late. What's that feeling like going to the line late in the game? You know the game's on the line.
It's a great feeling. You definitely want the ball in that situation. I had a lot of confidence, and I think there was a few other guys, Constantino and Nolan Agler, hit some big free throws too. We all had confidence in each other, and we all knew we were hitting free throws coming down the stretch.
Confidence in each other is big. You guys play as a unit. Talk about this team's chemistry and what it's like being on this program.
We all grew up playing together for years now, and it's nice to be at that varsity level. We all play really well together. We know what each other's going to do, and it's a great team chemistry out there.
All right, Michael, congratulations on the win. 27 points tonight. Baird Brothers player of the game.
Thank you.
That was head coach James Franciselli and Michael Porter after Mcdonald's win over Western Reserve. So now, Ty, we are officially caught up, and we have talked to everyone. We have heard from everyone, and let's get to our picks. Our last picks together for a while. You're going on vacation for a week, starting tomorrow, so you won't be able to make our picks with us. We'll still have your picks sent in, so you're not forfeiting these picks. But
Anthony's like, I will catch up.
As far as live on the show, I'm gonna be out for a week. So, Ty, let's go out with a bang, huh?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm enjoying my 5-point lead.
Just shut up. Okay? No one wants to hear you boast and brag. When I had the lead, I don't rub it in your face.
Oh yeah, you suddenly do it with how many text messages and gifts?
One TikTok I made when I first took the lead, and it was the funniest TikTok ever in the world. Maybe I'll share it with everyone one day. Let's go with our picks. And Ty, you won last night, so you get the defer or take option. Your first game is going to be Boardman at Canfield. And are you going to take it, or are you going to kick it to me?
I'll kick it to you for this first one.
All right, Boardman at Canfield on the fan vote. By the way, if you want to pick along with us, head over to Twitter. The handle is at Running Point YSN, and the thread can be found there. You can pick along with us like you can every day. Boardman with the edge, 59 to 41%. The Spartans looked back. Now that they've had a complete week, they beat Howland, they beat Fitch. I'm going to say they continue the trend, and I'm going to have them beat Canfield tonight on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to go defense over offense in this case, and Boardman's defense has looked really good in 2 consecutive games against Poland and Fitch. I'm going to go Boardman as well.
All right, let's go with East Liverpool versus Beaver Local. This will be your first pick. East Liverpool has 73% of the vote to lead in the Twitter fan poll.
Beaver Local, I think, is going to be able to surprise some people and keep this close, but I still got to go East Liverpool.
You're swerving them a little bit.
I still got to go East.
I'm not going to swerve you, Beaver Local. I'm just going to stay straight up. I think East Liverpool has the upper hand tonight. So I'll take the Potters as well. We go to Harrison Central at Edison. This one split 50-50 in the fan vote. It'll be my first pick, and I will take Harrison Central.
Yeah, I'll go Harrison Central as well.
Next, it is your first pick, Springfield at Waterloo. You'll have this call, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And Springfield has 92% of the fan vote right now on Twitter.
Count me in the 8%.
Oh, you're taking Waterloo to upset the Tigers.
Upset. You heard it here first. I'm calling upset. Give me the Vikings.
Tigers all day, baby. I'll split with you. I'll take the Tigers. I think you picked that one with your heart, Ty. I'll take full advantage. We move on to the next one, Middle Ridge at Lowville. Lowville has 78% of the fan vote. I will take the Rockets.
Yeah, I'm going Rockets as well. They've looked good.
You have another 50-50 split, my friend. United at Lisbon, split 50-50. Your first pick.
Give me Quincy and the Blue Devils again. I'm
not going to pick against them after that win over Wellsville. I'll take Lisbon as well. Struthers will travel to South Range, the Wildcats. 92% of the fan vote, and I will take Struthers.
Yep, absolutely. Give me the Wildcats.
Valley Christian going to Wellsville, who dropped the one to Lisbon. Still going to be a very good team, a very good matchup, but the fans have Valley with a 78% edge.
Fans are believing them too, because I was thinking Valley as well. I think I'm gonna go Valley as well. Give me Valley Christian.
I will too. Give me Valley Christian. Hubbard going to Jefferson. Right now the Falcons, 67% of the fan vote on Twitter. It is your first pick.
I know Hubbard coming off of a win, Jefferson coming off of a loss, but I still think Jefferson's probably in the upper tier of that NE8. So give me the Falcons in this one.
I'll take Jefferson as well. We move on to East Palestine, going to Columbiana, 91% to the Clippers. And it is my first pick, I believe. And I will just do this and
yeah, give me the Clipper clap along with.
You did it. I've been trying to get him to do the Clipper clap this whole show.
We got it. Go Clippers.
Hey, you get the first pick for the Holy War, my friend Ursuline Mooney. And it is the Irish with a narrow lead, 53% to 47% on
this
the Twitter
one's tough because Cheney in the middle of all this loses to Mooney, beats Ursuline. It's like, what do you expect from on football? It was one side, but I think basketball, you take to the air. I fly with the Cardinals. Give me Mooney in this one.
It is at Mooney. I think that'll be big as well. I think Mooney's defense too much. I don't think Ursuline's going to score enough to win this game. Give me Mooney to win.
It's going to be a defensive battle, though, because Coach Gunther, that's all he's going to – he brings defense-first mentality, so that's going to be fun. Old-school matchup here, and everyone's going to love it.
Pretty good Alliance team that's already beaten Louisville on the season, travels to Salem. But the Quakers own 77% of the fan vote. It is my first pick, and I will take Alliance to win this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in an airplane tomorrow early in the morning, so I guess I'm gonna fly with the Aviators.
Leaving on a jet plane. Lordstown at Wyndham. This is your first pick. Lordstown, 56% of the fan vote.
I gotta feel like Wyndham's gonna figure things out. I'm gonna still go Bombers in this one.
I'll split with you and go Lordstown. Something's wrong. Something's going on. I don't know what it is, but until they fix it, I can't pick them. I'll take Lordstown and split with you. Southern going to Latonia. The Indians have 67% of the fan vote. It is my first pick. I'll take Southern.
Yeah, I'll go Southern as well.
We go to Poland, going to Lakeview. The Bulldogs, 14 votes, all to Poland. I think that's the biggest 100% we've had so far on the Running Point poll. All 14.
Someone's got to get Lakeview some respect, though, because they've been they're good.
Are you going to do it?
No, because Poland, I still pick them over. I still keep picking Poland in the NE8. I can't pick against them. If there's a team right under, as far as my mind, Struthers right now, I got to say Poland and maybe Jefferson are in that pool right now.
Ty's like, someone's going to put respect on Lakeview. Are you thinking of them? No, I'm not.
I'm not, but I can't believe it's so lopsided because Lakeview's not a bad team.
I'll take Poland as well. I'll go with the fans. Sebring traveling to Mcdonald. This one is an 89% edge to Mcdonald. They have 9 votes in that poll. And Ty, it is, I believe, your first pick.
And I'm going to go with my man.
My first pick. You pick Poland first. I'll pick Mcdonald.
Yeah, I'll go my man, Coach Rancher Shelley.
All right, this one's going to be fun. Camel, Liberty. If you like running gun basketball, this is it. Both teams love to push the ball, love to use their speed. Camel versus Liberty. Camel has 60% of the fan vote tied. Is your first pick?
Might be voting with my heart, but I don't care. Give me the Rockin' Red Devils in this one. I want Camel.
I'm going to take the fourth split of the day. I'll go.
You're going to go. He's trying to get it all back in one night. He's sick of this.
I'm being super aggressive right now. That might come back to bite me. It might not. Champion goes to LeBray. My first pick. I'll take LeBray. They have a 91% vote edge in the fan vote.
Zane Stevens back and everything. I'm going to take a look at LeBray. I'm going to say the Vikings tonight.
An interesting one in Jackson Milton is the Blue Jays. Hard team to figure out. They look really good at times. Beat Heartland Christian, especially at home. But there are times when you wonder, they're definitely young. They're going up and down. They're riding that roller coaster.
Yeah.
They welcome in Western Reserve for a big rivalry game. You got to imagine the Blue Jays will be up for this one. I believe it's your first pick, and Western Reserve has 64% of the fan vote on Twitter.
My initial gut reaction said slightly lean to Western Reserve in this one, and I'll go Reserve in this one.
Should I go for the tie?
You could try. You could try to go for it all in one night. Go Coach Procopio. I mean, there's never a game he can't coach that team up for. So, I mean, it's all about execution.
I won't tonight. I won't on this one. I'll take Western Reserve as well. Gerard going to Niles. The Indians have 90% of the fan vote right now. My first pick, I'll take the Indians on the road.
Yeah, I'll go Gerard as well.
Crestview versus Garfield. This one will be in Garrettsville. Garfield having 67% of the fan vote. What do you think, Ty?
Garfield being at home is a huge advantage. I'm going to go Garrettsville in this one.
I'll go Garfield as well. East versus Cheney. We have Cheney getting 93% of the fan vote at home against East. It's my first pick, right?
Yeah, you're right, actually. Sorry.
I'll take Cheney.
Yeah, they made me a believer after that game against Ursuline. Give me Cheney.
All right, Marlington against West Branch, and the West Branch Warriors, 75% of the vote, but we know Marlington's a really good team on both sides. I saw them against Canfield. They're pretty good. So who do you have? Coach Evanich and against Coach Brown.
I got to go with what Warriors have done, and that's they've pretty much run the gauntlet. They've beat everyone in front of them. Give me West Branch again.
Undefeated, and until someone proves otherwise, I'll keep picking them. I'll take West Branch as well. Final one of the night. Louisville is going to Howland. Battle of the Cats. And it is Louisville with the edge right now in the fan vote, 67% to 33%.
Your first pick?
I believe it's my first pick. I will take the Leopards to win this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go Leopards as well. Coach Siegfried's going for that milestone win as a coach there.
Is it? Is this the one that would give him?
He's getting close. Let me see where he's at. I know he was. I think it was 16.
I think he needed 18 or 16. I can't.
I think it was 16.
So this one won't do it yet.
No, but I think he is getting very close though now. I mean, looking at their record, just double checking it real quick. 8-2. So yeah. So I mean, they're about half. He's about halfway there.
So let's see. Tonight we split on Springfield Waterloo. We split on Camel Liberty. We split on Lordstown and Wyndham. And we split on one more, right? It was which was the fourth? We did on 4, right?
I think so.
Lordstown, Wyndham.
Springfield, Waterloo.
Lordstown, Wyndham, Springfield, Waterloo, Camel, Liberty. Kyle. Maybe it was only 3. Did I miss one?
Well, go through the games real quick. Let's run through them.
All right, I'll go to our schedule in case one's just losing on the replies for this thread. So let's just go back to our schedule real quick. We have East Liverpool, Beaver Local, we both pick East Liverpool.
Yep.
Camel Liberty, we split. I take Liberty, you take Camel.
Yep.
We both pick Boardman to beat Canfield.
Yep.
We both pick Alliance to beat Salem.
Yep.
Both pick LeBray to beat Champion.
Yep.
Both pick Garfield to beat Crestview.
Yes.
Both pick Cheney to beat East.
Yep.
Both pick Columbia to beat East Palestine.
Yep.
We both picked Girard to beat Niles.
Yep.
We both picked Jefferson to beat Hubbard.
Yeah.
We split on Wyndham. I took Lordstown. You took Wyndham.
Yep.
Both picked Louisville.
Yep.
We both picked West Branch to beat Marlington.
Yep.
We both picked Lowville to beat Middle Ridge.
Yep.
We both picked Poland to beat Lakeview.
Yes.
We both picked McDonald to beat Sebring.
Yes.
We both picked Southern to beat Latonia.
Yep.
We split on Springfield Waterloo.
Yep.
We both picked Struthers to beat South Range.
Yes.
We both picked Lisbon to beat United.
Yes.
We both picked Mooney to beat Ursuline.
Yes.
We both picked Western Reserve to beat Jackson Milton.
Yes.
And we both picked Harrison Central to beat Edison. So
Yeah.
we're only splitting on three.
Three we're split on.
So I thought it was 4. It was 3.
We're at 3 right now. So it's Wyndham, Lordstown we split on. It's Waterloo, Springfield we split on. And what's the last one?
The last one we split on was Liberty and Camel.
Liberty and Camel. Okay. So I got Camel, I got Wyndham, and I got Waterloo. WCW. Wyndham, Camel, Waterloo.
Which is an affiliate of our partners over at 21 WFMJ. So what a plug, the WCW. Hey.
Look at Anthony getting plugged.
What an accidental plug. It all worked out. That'll do it for Running Point on today's episode. Ty, you'll be on vacation until I believe next Wednesday. You'll be on next Wednesday's show.
I believe so. Yep.
All right. So for tomorrow, it's going to be me and Gary with Coach McComas from Beaver Local Wrestling, and then we'll have United Head Coach Wrestling as well. So we're going to have an hour of Wrestling Wednesday with Gary. And we'll also have Scotty Mitchell coming on from 1 to 2 to have a lot of fun. So don't miss that tomorrow, as we have an hour of Wrestling Wednesdays with 2 area wrestling coaches. And we also have an hour of Scotty and me having some fun with local and national talk and maybe some trivia. Maybe we'll throw in some trivia in there. Maybe he'll get me with some movie questions. Who knows? We'll see you all tomorrow from 12 to 2. We're taking a 22-hour break. And remember, the person sitting in front of you is also the person that's furthest behind you in the world. Think about that for a while.